So I'm really, really delighted to have Celia Haddon on our next podcast episode on St. Clair's Academy. I'm sure lots of you will have heard of Celia. She's a cat expert. She studied at the University of Lincoln, and she's an author of very many books that sold over 1 million copies. How are you today, Celia?
I'm well. I've just been for a very long walk, and I've just been sort of had a tiny little nip from my foster cat who wanted his food when I got back.
Oh, okay. Okay. How did you react?
Listen, what did I do? I gave him the food because in actual fact, I was a little bit later than I should be.
Sure. How old is he?
He's 13. He's a grey cat that looks a bit like a Russian blue. I don't suppose he is. And alas, his owner gave him up at this age. It's so sad when people give up elderly cats. I really do. And he's taken a couple of weeks to feel okay again, you know, because it's pretty awful to lose your home at the equivalent of about 75 years old, you know, because that's what it is.
Yeah, bless him. Oh, has he got any health conditions? Do you know why she gave him?
Remarkably, I'm taking him to have his teeth done tomorrow, but remarkably, he's okay. He hasn't got any major illness, though he's got the beginnings of kidney disease. So I'm feeding him a kidney diet, which will extend his lifespan.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, bless him. Keep that for you. So I touched on it earlier, but you've got a recent book out called Being Your Cat, What's Really Going On in Your Feline's Mind. Could you tell us a bit about that? What's involved and what inspired you to write this particular book?
Well, I'll tell you what. I started my life as a journalist, and I've written lots of very unserious books about cats, very unserious books, you know. And it was just lovely to settle down and do a serious book. And I think it is because I know that you can't really know what it's like to be a dog or to be a cat, but you can at least take what you know and imagine it. And I think that helps with empathy for the animal, you know, because, for instance, you know, you see people talking to their dogs and saying, really, you're a bad boy, you know, Rover, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, from the dog's point of view, a lot of that is blah, 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 Rover, blah, 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 you know. So it never hurts to remember that, you know, they're a different species.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we can label them quite easily, can't we? We can say, you know, they're being dominant or they're being naughty, but actually they're just showing a behavior, and there's often a reason for behavior, whether they're scared or overexcited or bored.
And I think, you know, I mean, one of the odd things is if you put a little piece of a treat in front of a cat, you know, too close, they don't actually see it because it doesn't move. If it moved, they'd be able to pick it up, but it doesn't move. So you've got to remember those tiny things, you know. As a, you know, it's not, you know, I think we cat people are probably madder than you dog people.
Oh, so could you tell us?
And knowledge is all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knowledge is everything.
You studied at the University of Lincoln. Could you tell us a bit about
that? I did a course on clinical animal behavior, like you did, you know, at a very late age, and it was terrific. Actually, I'd done a bit of cat behavior work. I don't do it now because I don't know. I wasn't very good at dealing with the people. I was all right with the cats. You know, and also because, you know, I'm slowing down a bit at my advanced years. So, you know, I wouldn't say I was the best cat behavior counselor, but I think really because I've been in journalism most of my life, really what I ought to do is do what I do best, which is write stuff, you know.
Stories, yeah.
Get information out there as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is aimed at people who have cats or have got an interest in cats. So yeah, we like to fly the feline flag and tell people as much about cats as they can. So I think a lot of people can think they're quite mysterious and harder to read, but I guess it's a lot about being able to know what to look for, because they can show us they're uncomfortable if we know what to look for, although they are more subtle, but they'd have to be as a kind of prey species. It's not ideal for them to look vulnerable, so they can hide pain.
Yes, they do hide pain very well, actually. And even with the knowledge I have, I can find it pretty difficult to read, if I've had a cat for a long time, to notice when things are happening to them, you know. And I think this is partly actually happens even on humans and things. When you live with someone, you don't see the change because it's so slow, you know. But when you actually, if you're an outsider, you can go in, and this is what you can do, you know. You go in and you'll notice that that dog is kind of limping or got a weird sort of back leg problem, when the owner's got so used to it that they may not detect it, you know.
Yeah, you're quite right, actually. I was just thinking about my gran there. She's no longer with us, but we bumped into a lady that she hadn't seen for about 15 years, and the lady got really emotional, I think, because my gran, she was in the final stages of kidney disease, and she looked really poorly and really frail, but to us, you know, obviously we knew that she was unwell, but she kind of looked the same because we'd see her every day and we'd spend time with her every day. But like you say, for someone who hadn't seen them or coming in for the first time, it was quite a shock.
That's the advantage. You have a behavior problem with your dog or cat. I think that is perhaps, you know, the advantage, just a new pair of eyes looking at the setup, looking at the animal. And of course, you know, if you have a cat problem, you may need to do an awful lot to the environment. I mean, I once had a cat that had been spraying for 7 years, and I did say to the lady concerned, you know, I'm not going to be able to stop this, but I think I can reduce it to sort of a tolerable level.
Yeah.
And it involved washing every single skirting board in the house, throwing out 2 bits of furniture, covering the bottom half of 3 windows so that the cat couldn't see. There was a cat outside that was spooking it, you know. Covering the big mirror that went down because the cat would look at the mirror, and instead of seeing its reflection, they thought it was a strange cat, you know. And I mean, this was a wonderful, wonderful client who did all those things. And we got the spraying down to about once a fortnight, which was livable with.
Oh, wow.
As long as she didn't leave her knicker drawer open. If she left her knicker drawer open, well, I'm afraid that was an incitement to spraying.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, I wonder where that was.
It's in Gloucester, actually. I mean, the knicker drawer. Well, I think that was, I mean, that was the intimate smell of your human. And I think the cat was probably just mixing the smells, you know.
Right, okay.
Adding, you know, because sometimes when they go on the bed, we think, and that we don't have solid knowledge about this, actually, I have to say, but we think that this is, you know, a sort of desire to mix smells in a more noticeable way than simply rubbing against the human.
Yeah.
Because all that rubbing that cats do to you is a way of mixing their scent with your scent and creating a reassuring family scent, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so we think, and I don't think we know for sure, but we think when cats pee on the bed of their human, it may be because they're, you know, they're already a bit anxious, and they're just going to try and reinforce the feeling, this is where I belong, this is, you know, this is my scent and her scent, and, you know, it's home and it's safe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense,
but
actually. Yeah.
We could do with some very clever researcher looking into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's never things like, it's never a protest pee. It's never, you know, a cat doing it to spite someone because they're going on holiday and things like that, is it?
No, it's never. And it's absolutely fatal to do anything like punishment. It's an anxious animal that is trying to reassure itself by spraying its territory, you know, and that can be a wide variety of reasons, you know, or even a sort of stress trigger, you know, when you've got one stress. Let's say the cat's owner has a new job, comes back smelling differently. At the same time, she's asked someone to help her repaint the bathroom. So there's a whole lot of paint sprays and somebody in the, you know, the sort of stresses add up
Yeah.
until they trigger the animal with a state of social anxiety. So it has to spray, which
Yeah.
is natural behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're still at the very beginnings of knowledge on this one, I think.
Yeah, there's so much to learn about cats, isn't there? There's, I think, littler research done on cats than dogs, but yeah.
It's taken years before anybody researched the behavior of domestic dogs. I mean, within my lifetime, animal researchers went out and studied wolves, but it was kind of thought to be infra dig, you know, you didn't actually look at a domestic dog. And then it's been even later before people have done have looked at cats, partly because, you know, you can't stick a cat in a lab very easily. You know, you can't, you know, I mean, one of the problems about being a cat behavior counselor, when you walk into the room, sometimes you've got a friendly cat that'll come and talk to you and you can see what it's like. But other times, if it's already frightfully nervous about something, it's going to be under the bed, you know, just when any stranger walks in. So, you know, they're difficult animals to research.
Yeah. So could you tell us about,
So
sorry,
yeah.
Could you tell us about some cats that have changed your lives, Celia?
Well, I think the most noticeable cat that changed my life was called Fat Ada. And she turned up in my London home and she was a stray and she was deeply, deeply neurotic. And shortly after she arrived, about, I think 3 months after I arrived, I had what was, you know, a nervous breakdown, basically. And I used to wake up in the mornings and think, shall I kill myself today? And I used to look at my husband, who I loved very much, and thought, he'll be happier without me. And then I'd think of my friends and I'd think they don't want to know me. They'll be better when I'm out of the, you know. And then one morning I looked at Fat Ada and I looked at her, and since she wouldn't have anything to do with my husband, as she was pretty difficult in every single way, I thought, you know, she's not going to be happier without me. She needs me.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the turnaround.
Oh, wow.
So I owe my life to Fat Ada.
Oh, wow. Bless you. Oh, was that kind of stresses building up that led you to feeling like that? Or
I think I had what they say, I had issues that I hadn't addressed. Some, you know, this was some time ago. And, you know, sometimes in somebody's life, you know, things happen, you have to go back and have a bit of therapy, which I also got. So it doesn't happen now, thank goodness.
Yeah. Oh. So how old was Fat Ada when you got her? Do you remember? Was she a foster cat or was she your own cat?
No, she literally turned up in my garden shed.
Oh.
And eventually I lured her into the house. She was you know, she was very odd, frankly. I think, you know, she had been domesticated. I mean, she actually would lie on her back and you could tickle her tummy, which is a lot of cats wouldn't let you do. It wasn't that she couldn't be handled, it's just that she felt safer outside than in. So if she got worried, she wouldn't want to hide under the bed. She'd want to rush out of the house and go somewhere in the neighborhood, you know? I think, you know, what do they, sometimes people call it with dogs, and I'd love to know more about this. When you've got a domestic dog that is feralized, you know, that's what had happened to her. And she finally became reasonably domesticated, you know. She got better, she got more used to things. I didn't think at that point, I was much younger than I am now, and I didn't know very much about cats, and I could have done more in retrospect, but you know.
Yeah, you can.
I think when you knowledge, you look back and think, oh, I wish I'd known that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's lots of blogs on your website. What kind of things would you give? What advice would you give to someone? Maybe kind of a younger couple, they're thinking about adopting a cat for the first time, do you have any top tips for someone who's thinking about
I would very much, if it's a first, I would adopt a cat which has the right kind of behavior, not one that looks pretty or one that you feel sorry for. You know, because if you feel sorry for, if it looks unhappy, if it's your first cat, probably you need a nice, easy cat that walks to the front of the pen and maybe rubs against the thing and seems to want to be handled, you know. And in many ways, it's easier to start with an adult cat than it is with a kitten, because you know what you're getting much more, you know. And there's nothing, you know, now there's some wonderful stuff on Google, lovely stuff, you know, international cat care. There's quite a bit on my own website too, you know. So you don't have to, you know, read up about it and wait for the right cat. And don't let somebody foist a cat on you. That's the other thing, because you know, in this country there's really good rescue places, and then there's sort of one-woman rescue places which can be pretty chaotic. And I came across somebody, and they'd asked for a middle-aged female cat, and what she was handed was she only discovered a month later was a elderly male cat. So, you know, go to a good rescue place like Cats Protection or Blue Cross or something. It's really important, because they'll help you get the right cat so that you can both be happy, you know.
Absolutely. Do you have any
cats must be, it's the same as dogs, isn't it? I mean, would you not say the same advice if somebody was adopting a dog?
I think it can be really easy to I always remember something Vicky Hall said at an international cat care conference. So don't just take someone for the looks, you know, think about their values, their personality, and the same thing goes for a pet, because if you're just, you know, just getting a Bengal because it's got beautiful markings, you know, Bengals are not, you know, simple cats to have.
The Bengal to a first-time owner ever, nor a savannah cat, nor one of those hairless sphinxes that die. They die pretty young, sphinxes do, unfortunately. So, you know, a nice relaxed moggy.
Absolutely.
I tend to specialize in neurotic cats, but that's only because I like a challenge.
What kind of challenges have you worked with cats? What have people come to you for support with, and what's in the book in terms of advice?
Well, I mean, you mean from the point of view of when I was doing some more cat behavior counselling?
Your cat behavior counselling, and then also what's in the book.
It was mostly cats that peed in the house. I mean, that's what people found most difficult. And they were I mean, people were pretty unreasonable. I went to this very posh house, lots of money, and the cat started peeing in the house because the next door people had builders who had a Jack Russell that was allowed to run around into their garden and everything. So the cat was, you know, it was threatened. And I said, well, you need a litter tray. I don't want a litter tray, this woman said. So I said, well, you know, do you want cat pee in your house or do you want a litter tray? And so very reluctantly, I persuaded her to buy a litter tray. And she bought the smallest, least easy litter tray with, you know, the cheapest litter in. And luckily for her, the cat used it. But, you know, I asked myself, you know, she must have had, you know, she was living in a house worth at least £500,000. Why she didn't go out and I told her to buy a nice big litter tray and have nice, you know, enough litter in it and keep it clean. But no, she was mean enough. And she was just lucky that the cat used it. I don't know why people like that. It's just, you know, you have to go with the animal. You can't impose your desires on it, can you really?
Absolutely. I think that can be quite common. People have you know, I want this or I want that. Even, I guess, even if you explain to them why the cat's feeling that way. What about your book in terms of information in there?
I mean, actually, it has got, this is pretty serious book. So I've written funny books like, you know, how cats train their humans and everything. But this is the serious one. And it's really an attempt. So I would say it's for people who are seriously interested in cats, you know. and it has got references, admittedly tucked away in small type at the back, but you could do worse than read it if you were doing a course, you know. And and now it's reasonably up to date. As I said, we've got some interesting things have happened. We've discovered, we know much more about cat cognition. We know that cats recognize their names.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't think, you know, this is Suki, you know, I'm Suki, and they're saying this word Suki, but they know if somebody says Suki, well, there's a good chance there might be some food coming up or something interesting, you know,
Yeah.
or, you know, play a game with me.
Oh, awesome. And everyone can get that on Amazon and other reputable retailers. Have you seen it in a bookshop? I mean, I know you wrote lots of books, but I imagine that must be an amazing thing if you go into a bookshop and see your book on the shelf.
It's amazing. I know it's hard work, but I love it. So I'm working on another one. I'm hoping to write, and I'm not quite sure if I've quite got it in me yet. I mean, you know, because it is. My last cat was called Mr. Spangles, and he was the most shut down, distressing cat I've ever dealt with emotionally. Poor Mr. Spangles, and he died about 3 weeks ago. And I didn't have him I had him for 2 years, but I want to write a book called Mr. Spangles, the Peculiar Cat, and what he taught me about love, life, and fleas.
Oh, oh, bless him.
Entirely serious, but I miss him desperately, actually, because I sort of identify, you know, I mean, people have called me a mad cat lady, and I'm happy. I don't mind.
Yeah.
And me and Mr. Spangles, he was a pretty crazy cat, frankly. So we shared our own emotional problems, slightly different, but not all that different.
Oh, bless him. Oh, yeah, I can see everyone obviously can't see this, but I can see the picture of him on your wall that you mentioned before. Bless him, little black and white paw.
It was awful, really. I had him when he was 10, and I only had 2.5 years with him. And I hadn't realized how short a time it would be, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, isn't it? You love these animals so much that it hurts when they go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Grief's the price we pay for love, isn't it? But lots of wonderful memories of him.
So I know. You have to remember that.
Well, thank you so
People
much.
like you. Well, keep up the good work yourself too.
Oh, bless you.
Because, you know, everything we can write or podcast or when we can go and help people who have difficulties with their animals, you know, we're getting out the knowledge there to make animals' lives happier.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Celia. All right, take care. Thank you. Oh, sorry.